Just back underway from Kansas Speedway. It's Mike Skinner in front of Brian Scott. Again, those two stayed out on the racetrack. I believe you said 7 trucks stayed out.
We did have 7 trucks stay on the racetrack. The rest of the field came down pit road. There's David Starr right there, the 24 truck right behind Ron Hornaday. There's Brian Eichler. Taylor Malsom, the 81 truck. Colin Brown, the 6. Taylor Malsom was one of the trucks that did stay on the racetrack.
Randy Moss Motorsports, that 81 of Taylor Malsom. Colin Brown dropping back in Conway Freight. Number 6 Ford F-150.
Rick Crawford, the 14 truck, looking to get underneath the 6 of Colin Brown. Rick's been second here twice. He's looking to break into victory lane here. He's been close so many times.
3 drivers have been to victory lane here. Terry Cook, Todd Bodine, and Ron Hornaday have all visited victory lane at Kansas Speedway, but we've never had a repeat winner in the 8 races that we've run here. Be very difficult for Todd Bodine. Well, almost impossible.
I'd call it impossible.
I would call it impossible.
Impossible.
So Ron Hornaday and Terry Cook, the only 2 that could reach that status of repeat winners here. It's not foggy, by the way. That's on our camera lens, folks. That robotic camera. Some of the moisture still, or condensation, still on some of the lenses around the racetrack.
Jason White, the 23 Gunbroker truck on the inside of Stacy Compton. That's a battle for the 14th position. James Busher right behind him in that 10 truck. Jason has a good run going early here.
Moving forward is that 23. Again, the field starting to spread out now. You see Stacy Compton in the 60, just behind James Busher in the 10. There's your lead. Mike Skinner still able to hold off Brian Scott.
Remember, these 2 trucks got together at California Speedway earlier this year. Brian Scott had a great truck. He and Mike Skinner got together and ended up knocking Brian Scott out of the race. Okay, that's a young man that has really improved in a hurry.
Good job, Mike. Nice.
That's Mike Swain, Mike Skinner's spotter right there, telling him good job. Open up a couple truck links. There's a battle right there for the 4th position. Johnny Benson, Terry Cook.
Benson taking that high line and making it work. So takes the 4th spot. There's Brian Eichler dropping back behind Taylor Malsom.
Looks like Colin Brown is going to come by on the outside as well. Looked like Brian Eichler lost a little bit of his momentum off that corner.
Again, everyone counting down to this competition caution, which will be in 4 laps. So they're racing for that point.
They're racing for the opportunity to get to pit road. And it can be very, very important, especially if you're racing around somebody that you're pitting around, because if you have somebody pitting in front of you that you're racing with, if you can get in front of them, then you don't have to drive around their truck getting to your pit stall. That could save you a second or 2.
Ron Hornaday in front of David Starr. Hornaday running in the 6th spot. Terry Cook in front of him in the 5th position. There's your leaders.
I really felt like Ron Hornaday would charge to the front here after he came down pit road, got those tires, and all, you know, the trucks in front of him essentially stayed on the racetrack with the older tires, but it hasn't seemed to allow him to catch these trucks.
And very quick out front. Separated themselves by 2 seconds from 3rd place, Matt Crafton.
Some of these trucks actually are running their fastest laps now of the entire race. Brian Scott ran his fastest lap about 5 laps ago. Matt Crafton ran his fastest lap about 6 laps ago.
A green racetrack, cooler temperatures, seeing a little bit more speed out of these race trucks.
A little bit more grip. When it's cool, you got a little bit more grip. Good battle right there. There's Jason White going to the inside of Johnny Sauter. Jason is continuing to make his way towards the front. That's a battle for the 13th spot. Going to bring James Busher with him.
Past the halfway point at Kansas. You see the cross flags. This race could be considered official if rain would come back once again.
If we would have seen those cross flags Saturday, then we wouldn't have been here today.
They would have called the race and it would have been done. But since we only completed 52 laps, that's why we're here today. The work week begins on Monday, and that's exactly what the Camping World Truck Series is doing today. They're working.
James Busher, the Max Force 4 teammate to Rick Crawford, Circle Bar Racing. On the inside of Johnny Sauter, that's a teammate to Matt Crafton. That's the Fun Sand Chevrolet.
Those two continue side by side around the racetrack.
That's Rick Crawford right in front of Jason White, which is right in front of this group right here.
We've completed 85 laps. We would expect to see the caution come out now. It's a competition caution. There's the flag on cue.
Was it your cue?
It wasn't mine. They know better than that. But the competition caution has come out. Again, this is because the rain has cleaned the racetrack off. They want to make sure everyone has an equal opportunity on the racetrack. So now the competition caution has come out. They can come on. They can add fuel to the race trucks. They can also change tires. They just can't do them both on the same stop.
And I think we're going to see a lot of the guys that came down that last caution flag. They're going to come down here. They're going to put fuel in it. But I don't think they're going to come back for tires unless their trucks are really not handling very well. And then they will have track position over some of the guys that are going to make 2 pit stops that may have stayed out, the 7 trucks that stayed out the previous time. But these tires are really, really running fast laps. So I'm not sure that they're going to necessarily do that.
Our Aaron's lucky dog goes to Shane Sieg in the 15. He'll get a lap back now. It means he's only 3 laps down to the field. Now, Phil, we had a situation where they're able to fill the trucks full of fuel before we restarted. We've run 30 laps. Will they need 2 cans of fuel, or could they do it on just 1 can of fuel to top it back off?
No, they're going to probably need 2 because we can go 52 to 57 laps. So they're probably going to need 2. And you want to make sure you get this thing completely full because you never know when you're going to have to make a long run. So, you know, it's not going to take an entire second can, but they may have to plug it in.
Jam these things packed with fuel. Get it back on the racetrack. Here comes Mike Skinner as he will lead the field onto pit road. Right behind him, the battle is between he and Brian Scott that was on the racetrack, and now we're on pit road. Adam.
Matt Crafton going to be the first to hit his pit stall, running in the 3rd position. Track position is a concern. They will go right side tires, and they will also make a chassis adjustment to help his truck, which is tight in turns 1 and 2. And then you have got Brian Scott coming down pit road. They're just going to put in fuel, make a chassis adjustment. He is tight. They will not get tires, Ray.
This will be a double dip situation for Mike Skinner in the Bad Boys Mowers X-Side truck. They're going to put 4 tires on for him, but he'll have to come back in to get fuel the next time by. Skinner is away, but remember, Colin Brown and Hornaday pitted just 10 laps ago. They got their fuel now, so our running order will be very different when we get ready to go back to green.
Just take a look and see what happened to the 90 truck of Gabby DiCarlo. Matt Crafton, the 88 truck, the Menard Chevrolet. See, they're putting right side tires on. They drop the jack. Matt takes off and stalls it. Then they have to get him going again. Adam, what's going on with that 88 truck?
Well, the thing that I wanted to mention, Phil, is that they will come back for fuel, and there's a lot of interesting strategies. They went right side tires only for track position, but Brian Scott, who is right around them on the track, not coming back in. They elect for no tires here because they want track position. They just went with fuel and a chassis adjustment.
So pit strategy is going to be paramount here at Kansas Speedway as Brian Scott has come onto pit road for fuel and not coming back for tires.